Hey everybody, welcome to Talking Video Games.
Hello, and welcome to Talking Video Games. We have a guest star today. A very large, seeming very large.
No, he's tall.
No, I'm the tallest one here.
Jesse.
Hi, I'm also a dude.
These are these doing stuff. I'm making extras 487. I need to move this or I'll keep staring down.
You are Talking Video Games, so are we. Let's get started. This
we
week
are talking about, in spirit of the game coming out, Pokemans.
because it's actually Pokemon Weekend, right? Is that what we're calling it?
That's what I've been calling it.
Let's go with what you're calling it. Why not?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's like I've been wearing Pokemon shirts all weekend.
You heard it here first, unless this comes out way later in the year, and then you didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm pretty stoked about getting shit like this uploaded.
I'll put that on. Here on Talking Video Games, we do just that. We talk about video games.
Yes.
We have decided to go with the triangle model.
We're talking Pokemon. Yes, we're doing the gaming triangle.
If you don't know what the gaming triangle is, go back and watch our first video about Elder Scrolls Skyrim. Way more entertaining than this may be because I know less about Pokemon than I do Elder Scrolls somehow.
But I know a lot about Pokemon.
I know a little bit because I've played a lot. I'm old school in my Pokemans. I started with Blue.
I have played the Pokemans.
And I, of course, played Yellow. Yellow is one of my favorite ones.
Yes, I started with
Gold and Silver.
Gold and Silver.
And there's Timeline.
My first was Emerald.
There you go.
And it's my favorite still.
So, 1998, I was 11.
I was 10.
I was 8.
And Pokemon Red and Blue came out, and
We
it was
just dated
the
ourselves.
Yes, we did.
shit.
It was great. I mean, because this was right at the same time that the card game hype happened as well.
Oh god, the
You guys-
card game.
And I know all of us had cards.
Oh,
yeah, dude.
You know, I
man.
was even close to any of the three of our ages. You had cards.
Those things got banned from my playground because people got in fights over
Yeah.
them. So, like, yeah, the cards were a big thing.
And there's the iconic video that I think was actually showcased on America's Funniest Home Videos of the kid that gets the like Charizard for Christmas and like loses his shit. It's hilarious.
In his defense, in 1998, if I'd have got a Charizard as
Oh, yeah.
Christmas, I'd have shit myself.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Now we're starting with graphics. Now the original.
Which we didn't do last time. We started gameplay last time, but graphics makes more sense.
That's true. Graphics makes more sense in this case. So we're going to start with graphics, which is one of the points of the triangle, move on to gameplay, and then story. Story part's going to be a little fucked up, because that's just how it goes with Pokemon, if you really think about it.
It's the same story.
Yeah. Now, Pokemon originated... This was Pokemon... this was on Game Boy, just regular Game Boy.
The original Game
Well, you have
Boy.
to remember, it didn't actually come out in 98. It came out in 98 in America.
That's true. So this
This
was
came out
on...
a year before in
It was
Japan.
97 in Japan.
Yeah. Game Boy, originally, old school, gray,
Green background.
hard to break. You could throw that thing across the room and it would still work.
Dude, if you can go to your local dump, find a Game Boy in there, put batteries in it, it'll stay played perfect.
Which is actually a true statement. Like, that's not like a hyperbole thing. That's real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like, they're very, very durable machines.
Nintendo makes good shit.
But this game is pretty much the game that made sure the handheld games stayed alive.
Yeah.
This game changed video games for everybody.
And it
I had that
didn't
coughing thing again.
Yeah.
have colors. Because the original Game Boy was black and white, so it had no colors. It was just grayscale game. It was awesome, though. Really super fun, especially when you utilize the glitch to dupe rare candies and Master Balls.
Oh, yeah.
It's always my favorite phrase, by the way, Master Balls. I don't care how childish that sounds.
Pokemon Yellow was the first one to incorporate color, I think.
No, actually.
Oh, Yellow, because it was on the original Game
It
Boy
was still on the original Game Boy, huh?
Just said okay.
Okay. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
It wasn't until Gold and Silver that color became a thing, and they even
Game Boy Color.
Yeah, even then,
Right.
Gold and Silver, the cart would fit in the original Game Boy, so it still did the black and white thing. Pokemon Crystal, which was Gold and Silver combined into a better game.
Yeah, it was the third.
That one had the
Never
cart that
played Crystal.
only. That was the one I loved. Like I absolutely love
I liked Crystal a
Silver.
lot,
Silver
too.
is my all-time favorite Pokemon game, but Crystal was a close second. That one had the cart that didn't have the little notch at the top, so you had to have a Game Boy Color to play it.
True.
Okay. Also, Pokemon Yellow, as I recall, is the first game where you actually get your Pokemon that follows around. That follows you around.
Yeah.
It's actually the only one for a while, too, right?
And
Up
then
until
Gold and Silver didn't. Crystal didn't.
Nope.
Ruby and Sapphire, pretty sure didn't.
Neither did Emerald, Fire Red, Elite Green. It wasn't actually until Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, actually.
Oh shit, 2010.
Yeah.
So recently. Because people wanted to see their character.
Yeah.
And they wanted to see their character with the Pokemon they caught.
Right.
And that was a huge deal, and it wasn't a game changer or anything like that, but it was really cool. It was neat.
Well, it added a little more because Pokemon, with the start of Gold and Silver, they added in the whole affection thing.
True.
And that was one thing that brought up affection. But yeah, with Yellow, you only had Pikachu who followed you.
Fair.
Whereas in
Which it's also where you saw the first affection thing.
Yeah.
You could turn around and talk to Pikachu and he'd be happy or pissed off at you.
Right.
It was either one of the two. It was never in between. It was either happy or, oh, I hate you.
Right. Did they ever... Because I've played the old ones. I played Soul Silver when it came out. Whenever it came out. Some point in here. I don't think it's shown here.
Soul Silver?
It's right here.
Yeah, it's right there.
Oh, it's right in front of you.
2010. Yeah. 2010. And then, of course, I played X and Y. Is there anyone, and maybe Sunny Moon will
put it in the comments or something if you know the answer to it,
actually have the scale right for the thing following you?
No. Nope. Because where the thing was following you in Gold and Silver, like you can have like a Wailord, which is considered the largest Pokemon, and it'd be like that big.
Right.
And it was a generalized looking one too, wasn't it? It wasn't like it didn't actually look like the sprite.
It did look. It looked like the sprite.
Okay.
But it was like the compressed sprite that you would see like when you're looking at your Pokemon in your party.
Okay.
Yeah. X and Y.
Recycling.
Yeah. X and
sprite recycling.
Yeah. X and Y and all the other 3DS Pokemon games, they were better at scaling Pokemon to size. But even then, like you would be standing there and throwing like a Groudon, and it'd be like massive, and then you'd go back into the gameplay, and it'd be like, oh, it's only that big. So they're getting better with it.
At any rate, the graphics have significantly improved.
Well, obviously they had to.
They had to have, yeah.
But not only on the technical aspects of what each new system can do.
That's
overall,
true.
the idea is the same.
The camera, right? Top down
RPG
viewpoint, RPG.
Well, it is more of a third person.
Yeah, it's more now. In the more recent games, it's more third person, especially in Sun and Moon that just came out.
Which I haven't even touched. So
I
haven't either.
I played a little bit.
I know not X and Y, but Black and White 2 and Black and White 1 had a heavy third person's perspective in some of the cutscenes too, right?
In some of the cutscenes, and sometimes during when you're walking in certain spots, the camera would pan down and let you see more. But the character sprite was still very much that third-person top-down stuff.
Which I've always liked. I think it's important in RPGs to keep that as almost a style because these are handheld games, and it reminds you of where they came from.
Yeah.
Which is nice. But graphically, they've come leaps and bounds.
And
from 8-bit to
the great big city in X and Y, where you fight the electric gym, I guess it is.
Yeah.
Has a lot of kind of third-person-y stuff just because of the nature of the way the city's designed.
But overall, we're still looking at a top-down RPG.
In general, it's top-down. The buildings and like sprite design has improved dramatically. The combat animations are amazing.
They're different. I mean, clearly from the character shaking on the screen back on the original Game Boy to you can actually see moves happen on screen.
It moves forward, and then the other one flashes.
If we're going to talk about graphics, you have to talk about the fact that you can choose your gender now. And you can do actual customizations.
You can choose your gender, and you can buy clothes and stuff to change how you look.
Yeah.
We were talking about this earlier today, actually, that when you first started the original Pokemon games, it was, what is your name?
Yeah, what is your name? What is my grandson's name?
I have dementia, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go away.
And it actually wasn't until Pokemon Crystal that you actually was able to choose your gender.
Which is insane if you think about it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I guess video games, at that point, handheld wasn't really gender specific. So you were trying to push it to a market. You were just pushing it to a children market at that point.
And everyone at this point had only seen like the original show. So they only
the main character was Ash.
Yeah, it was Ash, who is always 10, by the way.
Yeah.
That's really weird. We'll talk about that later.
He's immortal.
That's fair, I guess.
I mean, he clearly has to be. He outlives everybody.
He's a Pokemon.
Yeah. Well, there are
theories about that. Yes.
There are actually theories.
They're game
about
theories, though.
Watch
Thanks
it.
for what I know. Unless,
No,
I'm begging you, Matt Pat. Sue me. I would love to meet you.
Yeah.
Not watch it as in don't say anything about it. I'm telling you, the viewer, go and watch Game Theory.
Yeah, the Game Theory is amazing on it.
I
and
like
it's
all
legit
their
too.
stuff.
It's very clever. Like
it's very
well
thought out. It's incredible.
But like I said, graphically speaking, it's pretty much a standard top-down RPG at that point. And it's well done. It's always well done.
Yeah, the Pokemon games have always been really good about testing the limits of the handheld console.
Yep,
that's true.
Just on the size of the game alone.
Well, yeah, even in the newer games with like X and Y and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, I haven't done them in Sun and Moon yet, but the Horde battles, where you had 5 Pokemon on the screen against your one.
Yeah, that was relatively
that was big.
Yeah, because whenever Nintendo came out with the 3DS and the 3DS XL, those Horde battles, like, your frame rate dropped crazy. Like, it was like, oh my god, why do I want to do these? And then the new 3DS XL came out,
and it
improved it. Yeah, it wasn't, like, great. Your frame rate still dropped a little.
But still.
But yeah, it was better.
It wasn't, like, game-breaking or anything.
No.
Alright, so that's pretty well established graphics.
Yeah, the graphics
will...
high marks, obviously.
Especially in a game that originated back in the late 90s. There is always, and there has to be, if it's continuous, there has to be a marked improvement in graphics. And there has been. There has been no failure thereof.
Agreed. This is one of the, longevity-wise, like, this is one of the longest-running game series.
One of them, yeah.
Ever.
It is, that's true.
And yet again, it was produced by Nintendo.
Uh-huh.
Because that's what they do. They make game series.
It was published by Nintendo. It wasn't produced by them.
Well, yeah, it's made by the Pokemon.
Speaking of which, this is slightly off topic, but here in about 10 days...
Maybe not to you guys.
Final Fantasy 15.
I want to play.
I'm so.
I would like to.
It looks dope as fuck. Anyway, sorry. Let's get into.
Although that's another game that pushed the concept of handheld games. All the handheld ones.
That's true, and we will get to
Dragon
those.
Warrior games.
We will get to those at some point in our Talking Video Games.
I'm just using it as a comparison of pushing gameplay.
Of course,
that's all.
Now we're actually getting into gameplay. So the concept is pretty straightforward. You collect these creatures, you train them, you improve their power, you learn new abilities, and you fight other creatures.
Or trainers who are doing the same thing.
Or trainers who are doing the same thing, right.
Eventually, overall, you're trying to get to become the very best, like no one ever was.
Yep.
I know it's dumb, but that's the point of the game.
That's very true, very true. Now, there are people that take the training, especially with recent developments in the way the training works, to a whole totally insane level.
Like Joey with his Rattata.
Like with...
It's a good joke, that's a really good joke.
There's hidden levels, EVs, IVs.
Yeah.
Nature's tight, like, there's so much stuff.
There's so much math involved in it anymore compared to what it was in 1998.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what are you talking about anymore?
Yeah. I know several people who've spent hundreds of hours.
Grown people, too.
Breeding, like, generating eggs, breeding eggs, like doing the...
Trying to get specific EVs.
And move sets and shinies.
Yeah.
And it's like...
Which, you've done the shiny thing for a while, and it didn't work. And it's hard to do.
It is very difficult.
I can't fathom having that much time.
I don't do that. I just don't have the patience for that. I typically play until I beat the Elite Four, and then I lose interest. Because it's like, well, there's nothing else for me to do. Although sometimes in, like, the later games, you're like, oh, well, after you beat the Elite Four, Ash shows up on this mountainside, and you gotta go fight him, and he has, like, a beast-ass team that will wreck your shit.
Or you'll have access to the legendaries from other areas. Which is always cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's always been cool.
Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, they had an extra episode of gameplay.
Exactly.
Right. I have never done a complete Pokédex.
I haven't either, actually.
I just haven't because...
The original games.
It's...
I think the best I've ever done was
now,
in yellow. I got a lot of yellow. I probably about 75% of yellow done.
What are they up to now?
They're over 800.
Yeah. With the new game coming out, it's over 800.
Yeah, they're over
Before it was 700.
It's feasible now that Red, Blue, and Yellow are on Virtual Console.
Yep.
They are.
I will, and I have them all on two. I have two 3DSs, so I have red on one and blue and yellow on another for trading purposes. And you can, with the old games now, they kind of updated it so you can trade via Wi-Fi.
And with you can also, with the old games, you can get the Pokemon Bank, which you can put your Pokemon into the
Yeah,
Pokemon
that's
Bank.
actually true.
And they're getting ready in January to update that to add the Sun and Moon Pokemon.
It's much easier
so you take
now.
Your starters from yellow and red.
If you're after completing the Pokédex, it's becoming easier to do it with the Pokemon Bank, which is what, like $5 a year?
Yes,
Something
it's
like
$5
that?
a year. Another thing that really does help out with...
It's super cool.
Yeah. Another thing that they do help out with completing the Pokédex is they have the GTS, which is the Global Trade System, not the wrestling move.
Right.
Which you don't get it, he does.
I don't get that.
It's a joke.
Yeah, you'll love it.
It is. It's a solid joke. It is.
Yeah, where you can go and you can offer Pokemon to trade for other Pokemon. Now, the GTS is kind of awful because they'll be like, oh, I want an Eevee. And they'll be like, okay, I'll trade you my Eevee for a Giratina.
It's random, isn't it?
It's not random. That's Wonder Trade.
Oh, Wonder
Trade.
Which is something I wanted to talk about because it's my favorite thing ever.
The GTS started in...
Because I get cool stuff from it. Legit cool stuff.
Yeah, the GTS actually started in Diamond and Pearl, where you can connect those games to the internet and you can request Pokemon and trade. With X and Y, they had the concept of the Wonder Trade, which was you take a Pokemon, any Pokemon that you want, you put it into the Wonder Trade, and you get randomly connected with another person, and they give you what random Pokemon they put out. So, like, I've done it before where I tossed in, like, a Machop or something like that, and I got back a shiny Gengar.
I dropped a Pidgey at level 2 one time and picked up a level 40 Onix. And it was the greatest trade I've ever made, and I stopped after that because I'll never beat it.
Yeah, or I'm that kind of cool.
Or if I just have extra Pidgeys from going to catch them, I'm like, see what happens.
Yeah. Well, I did that
I've traded Pidgeys and got back Pidgeys.
Yeah.
That are the exact same stats.
And you can trade, and it's interesting because the stats, like if you get something that you never had before, when it updates the Pokédex, it updates it in the language that it was originally caught in. So like if you catch a French, or like trade and get a French Oddish.
Yeah. Your Oddish is written in French.
All of the stats for it are written in French.
Yeah, all the Pokédex stuff.
Which is cool.
It is.
Yeah.
It's neat.
And it's a clever bit of programming that I'm confused about how they do, but I like it a lot.
Yeah. Now, the funny thing about the Wonder Trade and the GTS, though, is where it is online based, Nintendo, or the Pokemon Company, has implemented a scan of the Pokemon names.
So you can't put dirty names.
You can't put dirty or foul language names. The funny thing is there's some Pokemon whose English names match up to like a foreign name's bad word, so they can't be put in the GTS.
Interesting.
Yeah, or Wonder Trade.
Huh.
Which is something
funny.
they've been trying to fix, but like it's just so difficult because of like the regional differences and everything, and things like that.
You have any examples?
Not off the top of my head. Mostly because I'm still tired and rattled from wrestling like an hour ago.
Fair enough.
And the other video we just did.
Yeah, that one too.
Yeah, they just ate.
You should check that out.
We ate some nasty beans.
Yeah.
I
filmed it.
Before we go to story, obviously, because gameplay you can talk about literally forever. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's take a moment to look at some personal aspects of Pokemon because we all have favorite Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
We have to have favorite Pokemon because we're giant nerds.
Oh yeah.
He wore a wizard hat at the beginning of this video. I think that pretty much explains
And
it.
that's I'm wearing a
And
Team
now it's
Aqua
erect.
All right.
Constantine.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's comfy.
Yeah. So, my all-time favorite Pokemon is Typhlosion, the final evolution of the fire starter from Gold and Silver.
Cyndaquil. Right.
He's one of the cutest there is.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Cyndaquil is with Typhlosion. One of the reasons I love Typhlosion the most is because, for one, he's the only fire starter that stays pure fire.
Yep.
Charizard got flying. Torchic.
He's fighting fire.
Yeah, he's fighting. So it's Chimchar as well as Tepig. And then in X and Y, it evolved into a Psychic type. And now in Sun and Moon, it evolved into a Dark type.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I love it. But also, like, in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, I had a badass Typhlosion. I had it. It knew a Thunder move. It knew a Ghost move. It knew an Earth move and a Fire move.
Wow.
So it was like, well, yeah, because like I would throw it out, and people were like, oh, I'm gonna kill it with this Water type move. Like, nope, Thunder Punch, and stuff like that. But yeah, like Typhlosion is always my favorite because, like I said, I started with Silver, And Cyndaquil was the first one I picked, and I just fell in love with its design.
Silver was actually the first game that I beat all the way through. Like, I played Emerald first, but I beat Silver all the way through first. Yeah. And I also love Cyndaquil and Top Illusion. They're some of my favorites, not my personal favorite, though. I actually like Torchic. Because Blaziken is one of the coolest looking...
The fire chicken?
Yeah, he's one of the coolest looking third evolutions you're going to see. He's a chicken that knows Kung Fu. He can also learn any punch move, which means you can give him stuff like Thunder Punch, Fire Punch, and anything else you want fighting-wise to match up with that. So it gives it the same aspect as fighting with Top Illusion.
There's so many options to choose from.
No legendaries.
First thing, I really think Charizard should be Fire and Dragon, not Fire and Flying, but I get it.
It's Mega Evolution.
Fair. Fair enough. Well, now. Not originally.
No.
Right.
As far as the starters go...
No, not starters. Just favorite Pokemon.
Oh.
Well, yeah, if you have...
Those just happen to be our favorites.
Yeah.
Right. Fair enough. My favorite Pokemon is, strangely enough, Scyther.
Scyther's pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
Scyther looks so badass. I just love the way he looks. And he's actually pretty strong if you train him up right.
Well, like, bug types are always underappreciated, especially in the first gen, because bug types were the only Pokemon in Generation 1 that Psychic was weak to. Because there was a mess up in the coding in Red and Blue that the Ghost types, because Ghost type is supposed to be stronger than Psychic, but there were some errors in the coding that flipped it. And because the Ghost types in Red and Blue were Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar, they were both Ghost and Poison, which Poison is weak against Psychic. So you would take it to the Psychic Gym, and Sabrina's Alakazam would just completely wreck your shit.
Yeah. This really sucks.
Uh-huh.
To be cheesy, though, I have to say that little yellow bastard's pretty cute.
Yeah.
And it's such a statement anymore if you're talking about Pokemon. You can't say that you like Pikachu. Like, as a gamer, you can't say it, and I hate that.
Yeah.
Because, you ever played Pokemon with Pikachu?
Yeah, Pikachu's broken.
They're mean little fuckers.
They are.
Pikachu is broken.
Because they're fast.
They're fast, they hit hard, and if they get their higher level moves and you don't evolve them into a Raichu, they're damn near unstoppable. The only thing faster than it is a really high level Rattata. Oddly enough.
Actually,
Arcanine.
Arcanine is one of the fastest Pokemon.
A real close
next to
second.
Rapidash.
A real close second for me is Pyroar.
Pyroar, yeah.
In X and Y, I use Pyroar to wipe gems.
Yeah.
Most gems in X and Y are either weak against fire or just like, oh, it's just normal damage, and Pyroar has such a high special attack. I was just wrecking gems.
Yeah. That's fair.
If I were to honestly go with a close second for me, it would be Shinx.
Alright.
Shinx is cool.
Now we get to the really interesting and disturbing part.
No, we're not there yet. That was regular Pokemon. You gotta go with legendaries, too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, favorite legendary.
Yeah,
okay.
favorite legendary. Mine's Celebi.
Mine is also Celebi,
actually. Celebi, like that.
Celebi is the cutest Pokemon ever made. And the movie.
The movie was awesome.
It just hit me right there.
Yeah.
Right there.
But yeah, Celebi was like that, it's like Mew in the first one. You never really saw Celebi, but you knew about it. Because Celebi in the original games could only be interacted with by getting the GS Ball, which was a Japan-exclusive public event that required you had one of their cell phone adapters that never came to the United States.
So it was impossible to finish your damn Pokedex.
Yes.
Got it.
And it was dumb.
It wasn't until Heart Gold and Soul Silver when you can get it, when you can actually get it in the Heart and Gold Soul Silver game.
Which, oddly enough, was the first legendary I caught without cheating.
Yeah.
Because most other Pokemon games I played through emulation. I was poor growing up.
I would have to say that my favorite legendary is probably Mewtwo.
Mewtwo's cool. Always has been.
I'm as far as Pokemon goes, I'm more of an old school gamer. I don't mind the new stuff like I did like X and Y. I haven't played Sun and Moon yet, so I can't really give it a fair shot. But I really liked Mewtwo.
And yet again, the movie.
Yeah.
The original movie.
The Pokemon the first movie.
Theaters.
Every
one of us, I assume, watched in theaters, right?
Yeah.
Well, Pokemon 1, 2, and 3 were in theaters.
But this was the only one that was major release.
Yeah.
We went to the theater It was me, my brother, my sister, and then I don't even remember who took us. Anyway, my sister was like bawling her eyes out at the end.
It's so sad and happy, and you're like, but they're gonna go off and be friends now.
And then like all the Pokemon cry, and it spoilers. And it
for the movie that came out 15 years ago.
It saves Ash.
Yeah.
There is one scene in it that's supposed to be sad, and it makes me laugh inappropriately. And it's the Pikachu scene where he's fighting himself.
Yeah, where he's
and instead of using powers, they're just like, eh.
Because they're out of PP.
Well, not even that.
So struggle.
It was the clone Pikachu just slapping the piss out of regular Pikachu because Pikachu didn't want to fight it.
Yeah.
And I know you're not supposed to laugh at it.
Yeah.
But even when I was a kid,
it was.
I thought it was the funniest thing in the world.
Yeah.
No, it's quite funny.
But overall, no, yeah.
Which was funny because that first movie was like, Pokemon don't cry. And we're like, yes, they do!
They cry here.
Yeah, it was super sad. But very good. It was very good.
Although I do have to say that I hate the legendary birds from Gold and Silver.
Really?
I hated them.
Oh, I love them.
Well, I hated Oho. I like the other one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I hated Oho because it took so long to get him into Pokemon lore, in my opinion, after the anime came out. Because the first legendary Pokemon Ash ever sees
was Ho-Oh, yeah.
was Ho-Oh. And it's just like, what the hell was this?
Yeah.
Ash just looked at it.
He saw it, and like they foreshadowed Gen 2 at the first episode of Pokemon.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and it was a long time before it ever happened. It's like, what was happening?
Which is really funny, because in like episode 2, Ash was like, I saw that Pokemon. And Professor was like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, and we, as I recall anyway, America did not get the episode where...
The seizure episode.
Where they
Porygon.
lose a Charizard, or Charmander. And Charmander dies in the show.
I don't remember that.
Because his tail goes out.
Yeah, they edited it. They changed the episode. They reanimated it. Instead of that, Ash saves him.
Oh, yeah.
That's how that episode works.
Uh-huh.
Because in Yellow, you're basically playing the anime.
Right.
Yeah.
You even go get the Squirtle from the Squirtle spot.
Uh-huh.
That's true.
Actually, no, you get
so
it from
good. I love
Jenny.
Yellow so
It's
much.
the same.
But you get it from Officer Jenny, who got it from the Squirtle spot.
Yeah.
But what's weird about Yellow, and I didn't realize this until I was playing it again, like I had forgotten about this. Yellow, the Pokemon that's missing, because there's always a missing one that you can't get unless you have the other ones, is Weedle.
Yeah.
Weedle, Kakuna, and Beedrill. It's like, that's kind of random.
Yeah.
Oh, the Beedrill's pretty cool, too.
Beedrill's pretty cool. Yeah. All right.
All right, now we can talk about the elephant in the room.
The story.
The story. Oh my god.
I don't remember the elephant Pokemon's name, or I'd have said that instead.
The story.
Wonder if he's roll out.
I know. I see him on my face.
It's
The
there.
story is one of the most disturbing stories in video game history. You're 10 years old or so, and you're like, hey, Mom, I'm outie. I'm out of here. You have yourself a good life and stuff, but, you know...
With your no bedroom.
Right.
Until now.
Until Sun and Moon.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Your mom gets a
And
bedroom.
your mom finally
she's
gets...
doing.
You meet this old dude, or young dude, depending upon what game you're
Oh, that's
playing.
right, yeah. Because
Professor Elm was pretty
Elm
young.
was young.
Yeah, he's fairly
And
young.
they're like, hey, kid, here's a little creature that you can take to your dog fights.
What's my grandson's name? What's my niece's name?
Yeah. What's his name again?
Where am I?
Assfart. His name is always Assfart.
Or douche.
Or douche.
I wrote twat many times.
Twat.
It's fun to give them stupid names.
It wasn't
Also,
as
leaving the question marks there is funnier later on, too.
Oh, yeah.
Because it looks like he just goes on full dementia mode.
Oh, yeah.
And starts fussing about his grandson.
That reminds me. When, in Pokemon Gold and Silver, you meet your rival there, the redhead kid, and he goes, my name is... question mark, question mark, question mark. And when I went back and the officer's like, what's his name? I actually put in 3 question marks. Because I thought that was his name. And then I realized later on, I could have named him. Oh, shit.
That's hilarious.
My 10-year-old brain not working.
You also could have wrote in what.
All right.
So my name is what.
One of my biggest beefs with the Pokemon games.
Oh, one other thing before you start this terrifying story. Any money you make, you have to send to your mother.
Only in Gold and Silver.
which is disturbing.
You don't have to though.
I know, but
You
she takes
can.
most of your money, and it's stupid not to because she buys you shit with it.
Yeah, she buys cool
She
stuff
buys you
too.
useful shit.
Yeah.
It's randomized. There's I guess an RNG that it uses. It's like, okay, I got you this.
Yeah.
I just
Now-
don't know how much she's taking off the top.
Actually, I think
While
it's
she's
20%.
banging oak.
It might be.
You know she's banging oak.
No, she's banging elm.
Or elm. Or whoever the professor is from
Put it
the
this way,
hometown
she's
you
getting
are.
wood from somewhere.
Except for in Ruby and Sapphire, you have a dad. It's the only game you have a dad.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. In
Norman?
most games, you're
And you go fight
a
him.
Yeah.
young child with daddy issues because your dad's not there.
Yeah.
And you're sent off on a quest of beating up other people's pets and taking their money. Subsequently,
Joey repeatedly.
Yep.
this
Fuck
is
Joey is the point of this.
That's what you get for calling, man.
this is the biggest beef I have with it. So you
Top 1%
encounter
out of this.
a lot of enemies,
Mhm.
like bad groups. Team Rocket, Team
Magma, Team Aqua,
Magma, Team Aqua,
Plasma.
Plasma, whatever their name is, they're bad guys. But
Every time.
even though you are, by your very nature, a horrible person in the game because of what you do with your creatures, you cannot join the bad side.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
You were given opportunities too in these games. Like they're like, you want to join Team
They're like,
Rocket? I was like,
hey.
hell the fuck yeah.
But-
and especially after watching the anime.
It
Uh-huh.
assumes
because
that
Jesse
you...
and James are there, and you're
Right.
like, I'd go hang out with them. She's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
16, but
they
she's not.
always just
At this
assume
point, she's not. Unless, of course, she's immortal.
that
Yeah, they
you say no to all their advances. It's like, yes, I want to help you steal shit.
I want to help you steal really cool Pokemon.
What I do
I
all
need to
day...
finish my Pokedex.
Like, what I do all day during my normal life is beat the shit out of people's pets.
You
with
know.
my pets.
Yep.
So...
And the only person in the
Yeah.
entire Pokemon universe they can't beat up is you.
Here's your 10-year-old little ass.
You could be their leader.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. And yet,
You're
the game wants you to be good, and so it's very linear.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
well.
Another issue...
You know why it's linear, and like, and
Yeah.
we're obviously making a farce of this, but
I get
it's
why...
designed to be a kid's
Right.
game.
It's a-
That's
it's a
what
children's
it
game.
It's a
is.
children's game.
It will always be a
it's
children's
But at the
designed to be
same
linear.
time, I want to take over the world.
Which is why we have the wonderful internet community to make
Another-
mods.
issue that I have, and I don't get this, and why it's not a thing even now. But I think the only game set in all of these Pokemon games that had more than 8 badges was Silver and Gold.
Yep.
That's it.
Uh-huh.
And Soul Silver and Heart Gold. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're recreations
game.
of the same game. That's a real problem for me.
Yeah.
Like, why the hell, with all this expanded space on the cartridges and stuff, because
Could they not expand the games even more?
Like, I want more than 16 badges. Make me work to get to the Elite Four. Oh, 8 badges? 20 hours. I'm done.
Well, actually, in Sun and Moon, there are no badges. There's no gym leaders.
That's weird.
You defeat island heads, island masters. There's 4 islands, and I think you got to go through like 2 or 3 challenges per island to face the main guy. And
So
they give
about
you-
8.
roughly. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And then finally you get to face
Same problem.
the final guys. So yeah, I mean
Same problem.
they just changed the
Same
style
problem,
of it.
But overall, it is an issue, and it
But-
makes the game shorter than they should be if you only want to play through it one
Yeah.
time and get to the end and you're done.
Right.
But it's one of
Especially
the
for a game
things.
you're paying
I
those money
think
for.
It's a
I think the
formula that
problem
works.
right.
Right.
I think the problem is that they make the games with so many side mechanics that in theory you could have a 300-hour game if
But-
you actually wanted to do all the training.
But what if
bullshit.
you're not a casual, or what if you're a casual gamer? Then you have a $40 20-hour game.
Well, even if you're a hardcore gamer like me, I'm not going to sit for 40 hours or 50 hours
Training
hatching
these.
eggs
I will.
or training EVs.
I've
I just
watched you do
don't
it, it's
have.
weird.
I don't have the patience for it.
Right, and it's understandable. And it's not the kind of thing I want to do if I play a Pokemon game.
Yeah, it's super grindy, and that's fine for some things. You know, MMOs are designed to be grindy, so like that's understandable. Pokemon, in theory, by its very nature, is designed to be grindy because
Pokemon
it's
MMO would
because
be
it's an
interesting.
RPG. Yeah, I think
Just
one exists.
saying, a
It'd be
good
broken.
One, a
Oh,
good one would be interesting.
It'd be broken.
Of course it would be. It'd still be interesting. I can say interesting.
That's true, but it'd still be broken.
It would be challenging.
They've actually, they're actually, some of the creators of Pokemon have been on record of saying why they haven't done that. Like, because everybody begs for that one, like, massive game of all the regions, all the Pokemon, and stuff like that.
It'd be hard.
He said it would be an unmitigated mess. Because if we were to implement every idea that everybody has ever given to us, it would make a god-awful game.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
so why break the formula? That's the good idea.
And Pokemon, and the main series Pokemon games have always been a handheld thing.
The cool thing with, okay, so like they could make a game now using like say Ruby Sapphire like GBA type graphics, and have you choose the city you start in, and that would start you off on the badges.
And then start your game.
And then you can work your way up.
The problem would be the way the levels of the Pokemon work.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that would be the issue. So it would have to be a circular generation on the same paths.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
And
that's rough.
It would still be linear.
It would still be very linear. Plus, you can't go back to those GBA graphics, not after what they've done.
That's true. Unless they do like a lot of current games do and scale to your level.
That's true. Like
that would require
a Dark Souls approach.
Like Dark Souls, like Skyrim, like
that would take more programming than I think a handheld could hold.
Yeah, that would take a lot more programming.
That's fair.
Required because like they have it set up. Because if you ever look into anything about Pokemon, even the wikis or anything like that, they have it set up like databases of the percentage of a Pokemon that may pop up in a certain area at what certain level. There's a lot of random numbers. There's a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, and I've actually used those wikis to go try to fill out Pokedexes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and they're handy for that reason.
Incredibly handy.
Yeah, so and that's the issue because if you play Pokemon Pokemon Blue, and you know that on Route 2 you're going to run into a Rattata, and you flip that, so you start in like Cinnabar Island instead. Now when you come to Route 2, that game has to say, oh, well, Rattatas are here, but when we scale up the level, they should be Raticates.
Mm-hmm.
Which the game has ignored multiple times, though.
Yes.
All right.
The original game.
When you fight your rival in some of the older games, he has Pokemon that are at the wrong level.
Oh, yeah. Lance in the original Red and Blue Yellow, his Dragonites are like 3 or 4 levels under-leveled.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they should still be Dragonairs.
All right, folks. It's time to talk about the gaming triangle and the way we rate it. And then we'll kind of do a little sidebar on Pokemon games outside of the Pokemon video games.
Like outside of the
main series.
Right, like...
Maybe outside main series, like Coliseum and all those.
Like the card game...
Yeah.
Pokemon Snap, that kind of stuff. Those are all really good.
I'd say graphics-wise, handheld. These games have always pushed handheld boundaries.
Yeah.
Any generation, at the time, they were some of the best.
Yeah. Well, these games are the reason people bought the handhelds. Like
exactly.
The only reason I own a 3DS is because of Pokemon.
I own a new 3DS because I wanted to play the shirt you're wearing.
Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to play Alpha Sapphire.
Yeah, so like every new generation of Pokemon, you bought Pokemon when you got your Game Boy Advance.
And I think that's really prevalent in the new game that just came out. Like you can see that it's pushing its boundaries.
Yes.
So we can safely agree that the graphics part is going to be top scored at 3 points.
That's a full 3. They're easy.
That's fair.
Gameplay itself.
Gameplay, I would say...
I've never had an issue with.
No,
I haven't either.
I think it is one of the best designed turn-based RPGs ever made.
They are. Like, that's... When you look at an example of a handheld turn-based, Pokemon is what you go with. And especially with the later games in the series, from... you take, like, Ruby and Sapphire that introduced double battles, and then... Black and White. Black and White introduced the triple battles and the rotation battles. X and Y introduced the horde battles.
And I would take that same turn-based concept and I would compare it to any turn-based game at those time periods. So you can compare it to the Final Fantasies out there. You can compare it to Chrono Trigger even. And I still think it's on par with it.
Yeah.
Easily.
And they, like I said, they always push the boundaries with the new battle styles.
Yeah.
Like Sun and Moon, the new big battle style is there's now 4-way Pokemon brawls. Like you can go like when you're doing an online battle with people, you can have 4 people battling at once with each other.
Interesting.
And
So
not
you
as a
don't gang
double
up on
battle.
people.
Yeah, and not as a double battle.
Right. And then like attacks that hit groups will hit all 3.
Right.
That's fair.
Which
That's
is
neat.
interesting. It really is.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
And I feel like that's another category
Mars.
instead of say 3.
Yeah. Story.
Stories of the Pokemon games have always been the same. You're a kid, you go on an adventure, you beat the bad guy.
This is
you win the
where
league.
Pokemon is weakest.
Easily.
Is
as
in the story.
much as I love the stories of the Pokemon games, they are pretty much cut and copy.
Yeah. And it's understandable why. It's because every time you make a new Pokemon game, you have to bring in the same age group.
Yeah.
Because every year, they're not the same people.
Those
people are going to come back.
I will give Pokemon, when it comes to Pokemon story writings, especially like when you go up to a different game, not like a remake or anything like that, they give the bad guys a different motivation. Team Rocket was in it for the money. Team Magma and Team Aqua, they were in it to change the world. Team Plasma, I believe was in Diamond and Pearl was Plasma. They wanted to... I don't know. But yeah, they wanted to like rid the world of humans and have Pokemon thrive.
They were PETA.
Yeah, they're pretty much PETA.
Come at me, PETA.
So yeah, like there was that was
bacon.
Team Galactic in Diamond and Pearl.
Still like bacon.
But yeah,
Same.
but still, when it comes
Bacon's
when you
delicious.
bear down the story though, it was very much kids,
It's the
Pokemon,
same
save the
stuff.
bad guy,
Yeah.
win the league.
Save.
And while like
Or catch.
where they are kid games, like they're the games designed toward a young audience.
Mhm.
I think that's great because it does teach that lesson that we need to treat our Earth and people and everything equally,
Yeah.
which is great. But as people who grew up playing these games and are gamers now, it falls apart once you've played it after the first
After
3
the
gens.
first-
You're
yeah.
like,
Yeah. And
I get it, but I kind of don't care anymore.
Yep.
as a kid, like you hand a kid Pokemon Sun and Moon now, and they're gonna play it like, man, this is a cool game, and not even think about how messed up the story is.
Until they get to our age.
Until
And
they get
then
to
they're
our
like,
age, and they're
oh,
like,
God.
holy
Yeah.
crap, I played this as a kid, and I still like it as a game, but holy shit, the storyline is horrible. I'm a horrible person in this
That
game.
has abandoned my mother after she got left by my father.
It's terrible. I would give the Pokemon story, just because it's so repetitious and weak, I'm going to give it a 1.
I would honestly say 2 because of the message behind the story.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to remember who the games are designed for, too.
Yeah.
They're not just designed for us.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
I'm going.
And
I would
that's
have
why.
to go with the 2 as well.
I don't think we give the extra point this week for the
No.
4 out of 10 at all in general. I don't.
No.
I think we hold off on that.
Okay.
I would say this is easily though an 8 out of 10 game and series.
I would agree. We'll say 7.5.
All right.
That's fair.
All right, so 7.5 out of 10. Despite the weaknesses of the story, it excels everywhere else, and therefore, it really, to be a decent game, it only has to really fulfill 2 of the points. To be an exceptional game, it of course has to do all 3. But,
Right. And not every game is that. Oh, as much
That's
as we'd
true.
like that. I mean, I would definitely though. We can say easily 7 out of 10 shiny Pokemon.
Yep.
7.5 out of 10 shiny Pokemon. Because we're fucking monsters based on the story.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just pull Ditto apart. He's like pudding or Jello or I don't know what the fuck Ditto is.
He's a failed clone.
It's really disturbing. Anyway, we're gonna debate a little bit here because we're kind of done with the sort of main
Yeah, we're done with the actual handheld
the main
gameplay and
thing.
the
So
actual
let's talk
stories.
about a little bit, and we don't necessarily have to grade these unless you want to. But the older or non-handheld games.
That's not the main series, basically.
I
Right.
say we leave the card game out. Card
Card
game is the
game-
exact same damn game it's been for the past.
Yeah.
They've
18
changed it a
years,
little bit
but
with
it's
like
the same
Break
game.
and EX and Mega Evolutions. But yeah, it's the same thing. Put the card on the table, oh I win.
Yeah, when
Don't
you have the big.
touch my don't touch my hollow foil Charizard.
Collecting cards. I used to collect them. Never played the game because I thought the game was
Had a
was
hot-
weirdly.
I had. Well, we called them
Complicated.
shinies then, but I had a shiny Mewtwo.
Oh yeah. I actually was really good at the card game for a
Played
while.
a lot of Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
Unrelated. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
let's
You want to start with Stadium?
Yeah, that's actually where I wanted to go.
Well, we have to, because that's the first one.
That was the first non-main
Non-handheld,
series game.
N64.
Yeah.
And as far as fighting games go, it's fun.
What I really liked about Pokemon Stadium was it was a game on the N64 that you could get, and I think it actually came with a cartridge you could put into your in your controller,
it had a game
where
pack.
you could put your Pokemon game into it.
And if you had Pokemon
And
you caught, they
fight
were there.
with those Pokemon that
In
you
3D.
caught
Yeah.
in 3D, and it was so awesome.
And what was really cool about that too is you can go through in the tournaments of the cups, and if you beat all of them in a certain way, the Stadium game would reward you with a special Pokemon that you could put back into your game.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It was it was the Surfing Pikachu, and the Flying Pikachu. It was the Pikachu the new Fly and the Pikachu the new Surf.
Yep.
And if you put that Surfing
Which
Pikachu,
was a devastating Pikachu
Yes.
set, by the way.
yeah,
A Pikachu that can use a water move?
yeah.
No.
Surprisingly enough, not really surprisingly, what was cool enough is if you put that Surfing Pikachu into Pokemon Yellow, you actually got a Surfing Pikachu minigame.
Huh.
And when you actually use Surf with Pikachu, you saw Pikachu surfing.
Yeah,
Like
he had
Sprite,
he had a
This is adorable.
surfboard.
which was awesome. Yeah.
I always liked the idea that if you didn't have a handheld and you got that game, you still could play with any Pokemon you wanted. Because, like I said, I was poor growing up, so I didn't have Game Boy or Game Boy Color for a long time. My first Game Boy was the old clear purple Advanced.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I didn't get to play Pokemon growing up that way. But if I had a 64, so I could play Stadium.
Yeah.
So you still got to pick any of the set of Pokemon you wanted to, play them at the same level as people around you, and you were fine.
Yeah. So I didn't grow up. I had the 64. I didn't have the Super Nintendo, so I didn't have the Super Game Boy. With Pokemon Stadium, you
I
can
have a
plug
Super Game Boy in there.
Yeah, you can plug in your game of Pokemon to that game pack, pop it into your controller, and then you can actually play Pokemon on your TV screen.
Your TV, yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
It was super cool. Pokemon Stadium 2, which was also for N64, I think.
It was.
There's a game in between you're missing, though. Pokemon Snap.
Well, we'll get to
Snap.
Snap. But Pokemon Stadium 2 incorporated Gold and Silver.
The Gold and Silver Pokemon.
Pokemon, yeah.
Which was also, it was the exact same game, essentially. It was neat, though.
But always the cool thing about Pokemon Stadium for me was the mini games.
Yeah, and 2 had a lot better minigames.
I didn't think so. I didn't.
Well, I thought they looked better, I guess.
They looked better, yes.
And at the time, I guess that's what made them feel better to me, because I
Yeah.
played Stadium 2. And
Oh, I
Forever, yeah.
I recently played Stadium. I actually have Stadium.
well, I've played Stadium. I haven't played Stadium 2 in a long time. So.
Yeah, well, I played both recently. Stadium 1 always had the better games to me because the games are a little more fleshed out to me, and they're not necessarily fleshed out, they're simpler too. Stadium 2 had my love because it had that broader selection of Pokemon.
And it was cleaner. It was a cleaner game because it was later on in the console stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you can only do so much for 64 bits anyway, but they pushed it.
They really
They wanted you to see the Pokemon on your TV, not just in your hand.
That, and there's some a little bit of censorship in the first Pokemon Stadium game. Nidoqueen, in the Japanese version, when she came out, she would cover her breast.
Right.
And then in the American and European releases,
They
she would
were
just
like,
shake them.
no.
Yeah.
I remember.
That,
Gross.
yeah, that was always weird to me. The only, hot Pokemon is Gardevoir.
I don't think there's ever been a hot Pokemon.
Air quotes hot.
Here goes hot.
Yeah.
You're on your own there, bub.
Anyway.
Alright,
Now, of
Pokemon
course,
Snap.
Pokemon Snap. Now, you guys played this on your
This was
on
our
your channel,
first
right?
completed
Series.
series.
Did you get all of
Additional
them?
stuff.
Yeah, we captured all of them, including you.
We took a.
Did you have to look it up, or did you?
I had to
We
look
did
up
it
the last
one because we
one
didn't know what to do.
because I didn't know what I missed, and apparently it was something I thought I had snapped a picture of,
I mean, you didn't.
but I didn't
missed
send.
it?
I didn't.
Just,
I didn't send the
so
picture
much?
to Oak.
I think it was the end of the episode, and we were just kind of hammer through it.
Is
and we
that-
just clicked.
Those. Oh man.
So go watch that.
The
Playthrough. It's
key
kind of
thing
fun.
that I
My friend Chris is on
remember
it.
was the
Weird face.
We said to beat that one setting
the
too.
riddles.
Yeah, it was fun.
The riddles where you gotta find
Yeah,
the
we had to find
Pokemon
that.
and
Oh, yeah,
the
in the-
environment. I thought that was really cool.
That was.
like an excellent game mechanic.
The only thing that I didn't like about that game is that all of them weren't there.
Yeah, it only had 63 Pokemon.
Which was disappointing for two reasons. One, because all the Pokemon weren't there from the first gen. And two, the game was made on the Nintendo 64. Put one more Pokemon in there, you morons.
Yeah, that was it.
Right?
They didn't have space.
For one more.
For one more, I guess not. They must not have. Or they just chose not
Joey's
to do
ratted
it.
in there. I don't like Joey.
I know you
How much of my
don't.
time
Nobody
he's
likes
wasted.
Joey.
Even on an emulator with the turbo turned on, you know how much of my time he's wasted?
What are you guys talking about?
Joey, from Pokemon Gold and Silver and Heart Gold and Silver, there's Joey.
When you can get called again by trainers you beat to go fight them.
Yeah.
Who just call you randomly, waste your time, be like, hey, my Rattata's doing great. It's in the top 1% of Rattatas in the world. And it's just like, I don't care.
And then he would call you to challenge you, and then you go thrash him with your level 100 whatever.
Uh-huh.
And
you'd be like, I'll get you next time.
That was a game mechanic that I hated so much. I was like, do you want to give so-and-so your number? No.
I did because it got you money.
Yeah, in the original, like, Gold and Silver, it was awful because you can only have, like, 10 people, and they called you for literally nothing.
Like, hey, what's
they
up?
wouldn't say, hey, I want to challenge you. They'd be like, hey, what are you doing?
And Heart Gold and Soul Silver, though, they made it better because they gave different dialogue depending on what you're doing and where you're at.
Except Joey.
Not even Joey. Joey had some different dialogue.
Not much.
Not much. But in that one, you
can
can actually get the phone numbers to all the gym leaders and re-challenge them.
That's cool.
It's actually a game mechanic that you go back and re-challenge all of them.
Uh-huh. They have
different Pokemon.
They have stronger Pokemon, including Pokemon from the other regions.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Because they got their asses kicked, went out and got some more.
Yeah. But, yeah, Pokemon Snap, though, like, playing through that again recently, like,
it was fun.
Like last year, was really super fun because, like, I remembered where almost everything was.
It's the kind of game I think you need to play with people, though.
It is. It's very much a game that it would benefit. It's one of those games, though, where everybody wishes they would make a second one. Like Pokemon Snap 2 for like the Wii U or the Switch when it comes out.
Because it'd be perfect for
it. Would because
you have the handheld
motion
controller
tablet.
and everything. Yeah, it'd be perfect.
Oh, that would be super cool.
You could even put it on the 3DS if you want.
Yeah,
because you still have the motion.
With all the crazy space they can use, they can have all the Pokemon in it, or at least a bunch of them.
Like I'm sitting here thinking
Maybe
about
not
it.
all of them because there's over 800 now.
Yeah,
but like you could put all of Gen 1 on there probably.
Yeah,
That'd
you can put most of them.
Game.
Well, I was sitting here thinking about why they only put in 63 for the 64. Other than, they should have put in 64. I agree.
Because really,
it's a Nintendo 64. It should have been 64. But every Pokemon had a pattern and a personality in that game. And to do a pattern and to program a pattern and personality for 151 Pokemon, because Mew was in that game.
He was the
he was the final boss of the Pokemon Snap. That would have taken a lot. That would have required the attachment cartridge like they did with Sonic and Knuckles in Sonic 3 back in the day.
Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
Or you can play Sonic 3 with Knuckles. Oh yeah.
So that would have required a lot more.
Pack. Good times.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I get that, but still, they could have threw one more on there.
They could have.
One.
I agree. I don't.
The N64 is my jam.
There's one more 64 game.
Hey You Pikachu.
Hey You Pikachu.
Which was awful.
Yeah.
I hated it.
It was bad. Don't play it.
Actually,
if you play it, you can't even play it because you need the microphone. They're almost impossible to find.
Yeah, and if you find one, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
the game, the concept of the game was awesome.
Fortune.
Like, it was so cool, the game itself, because you get to talk to Pikachu.
It was Kinect technology before the Kinect was even imagined.
It was horrible.
Then again, 3D...
It was Kinect technology before Xbox was a thing.
Yeah.
So bad.
Well, Nintendo has always been about pushing the boundaries, because think of the Virtual Boy.
And I like
that Virtual Boy was the first VR headset.
Okay. It was a yellow cartridge.
Fair. Yep.
Because Pikachu.
Yeah.
And it came with the mic, which didn't work half the time.
It was a Christmas money dump.
And you had to yell.
Like full on yell in that
Yeah,
mic.
the exclamation point in the name.
Hey,
Pikachu! It wasn't an exaggeration.
Get your furry little ass over here.
I couldn't have had that game growing up because I had a cat named Pikachu as well.
No, yeah.
So
I had a friend of mine who did, and actually, his mom got really mad at me because of that. She had bought him for Christmas that special edition 64 that had Pikachu on it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I didn't tell him. I told a friend of ours that he was getting it because it was like really cool. And we're kids. We're like 11, 12 years old. We don't keep secrets. At least not we do, but not the right secrets. Yeah. Anyway, Don't touch me, Daddy. I mean, what? Okay, that was bad. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Terrible joke.
All right.
That was a terrible joke.
That went to a dark place.
That did.
You're talking
But no,
video
seriously. I told our friend, and I guess our friend told him, and like I guess he mentioned it to his mom, and the mom thought I told him, so she was really mad at me for a while. But she did. She was
like Christmas.
For like Christmas, yeah.
I got it. Why did she tell you?
Because like she just.
Why didn't you tell any children any secret ever?
I don't know. It was really dumb.
That was her fault.
That was.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. You're right.
But yeah, that's my funny little story about how I got my friend's mom mad.
But yeah, back to the point. Your Pikachu sucked.
Yeah, it was
bad.
It was the first Pokemon game to introduce Togepi.
It is not, however, the worst
good game
ever. Yeah. There are worse games.
Superman 64.
Oh God.
Yeah, we know that.
Yeah.
Sonic Boom.
We're never gonna review Superman 64.
It's actually we can do right now. It's terrible. Don't play it. 0 out of 10.
Yeah, no story.
-4
no graphics.
out of 10.
Yeah.
negative
So
scores.
have you ever actually played it? -4.
I have played
Oh God, it's
I've
so
beat
bad.
Anyway.
I would say Gerard completed it.
We're pretty much.
I mean, and then there are a plethora of other Coliseum style games.
Well, there's the Pokemon Coliseum. There's
Pokemon
Mystery Dungeon.
XD Battle Revolution.
Yeah.
Which is just Pokemon Coliseum on the Wii.
XD Gale of Darkness.
Which is just
again Pokemon Coliseum.
On the Wii.
You have the
there we go.
You have the Mystery Dungeon series,
which
you have
Pokemon is different.
Yeah, you have Pokemon Pinball, Pokemon Trozy.
I got the original Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, and I didn't care.
The newer ones are a
care
lot better.
for it.
The Super Mystery Dungeon
Pokemon Rangers.
The food like stamina bar issue.
Yeah,
was a pain in the ass. I didn't care much for it.
But in general, I mean, it's always been a solid series overall.
Mm-hmm.
It has,
and it's going to continue. And there's nothing anybody can do about it.
And plus, like you got the anime, you've got the manga.
Yeah.
You got like
so many different
side stuff.
media interfaces.
Yeah, it's
and sort of interactions.
There's a reason the Pokemon Company is now the Pokemon Company, not just called Game Freak.
Yeah.
It's the Pokemon Company, and it will always be.
And all Pokemon started, all it was one guy was like, I like to collect bugs. And he turned it into a video game.
There's one more we haven't talked about.
Which one?
That swept the nation recently.
Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go. Yeah. Which is not involved with the Pokemon Company.
Which is not, no, but apparently I got it. I played it for a little while. It didn't really do that much for me. I didn't care much for it.
It had a very rocky start.
Walking.
Yeah, it promoted.
That's true.
It got a lot of people out of their houses and walking around, and it was a really good health benefit. It had a really.
There are a lot of people who still do that. Too.
Oh yeah,
like,
I see people all the time
walking
on my Facebook who are just like, I just went and caught this guy at this Walmart or went to the park, but it had a really rocky start. Like it wasn't ready.
No,
right.
But in general,
and they're still missing a lot of game mechanics that I think they need.
Which is,
and that's fine. I mean, you got to start somewhere, and they can always expand it.
Yeah, that's what
I might replay the game once they get more game mechanics in it.
It's one of the most interesting concepts I think they've come across in a while. Though.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of the AR stuff in a real
life
life setting.
It too
really cool.
has a pretty messed up story. You catch Pokemon like in the original, and you turn them into candy to feed to your
other Pokemon.
like Pokemon.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of
you're basically making them cannibals.
It's really messed up. Yeah, you cannibalize the other Pokemon you catch to level up your current ones.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, cool.
I think that's every Pokemon game we've talked about now.
At least the ones I've played.
Which is pretty much every Pokemon game.
There's one more that's relatively recent too. That is Pokken Tournament.
Yes.
Which is which is an arcade style fighter.
It's
it's a cross Pokemon.
It's a cross promotion between Pokemon and Tekken.
If you like Tekken,
I bought it.
You'd like
I have
it.
it.
Fun.
I don't like Tekken. I turns out I didn't like Pokken. I still have it. I didn't trade it in or nothing. But
if you like that style of game, you're gonna like this. It's fun.
It's
fun.
It's a very technical, like Tekken. It's a very technical arcade style fighter. I'm not very good at it, but I mean it's fun to play. It has amazing graphics.
Yeah, And it's only it's boiled down to like a handful, like 12, 15 Pokemon.
16.
16.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
17,
including of course
Yeah.
Pikachu.
2 Pikachu's in the game actually.
Yeah,
There's
Pikachu
Pikachu
and
Pikachu Lucha. And they implemented like Charizard and game like Pokemon you wouldn't think would be in a fighting game like Suicune.
But they do great. And,
Yeah.
like I said, it's fun. And
Gengar,
Chandelure.
And there's Gardevoir,
Gardevoir, yeah.
which was I think I made Lucario in that game.
Gengar is a beast in that. Yeah,
it's super
that
fun to hear
much...
kids talk about that game because they're like, "Oh, Gengar, it would be Lucario so easy." I'm sitting there going, "Kids, it's a fighting game. Types don't matter at all."
But I'm glad you understand type.
Yes, thank you, kids.
Because I don't get it still, and I'm like a person who's played Pokemon. I can't remember them ever. So.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all of them.
Simple wrap up. Pokemon's fun. Go play Pokemon.
Pokemon's fun.
7.5 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Easy.
Play more games.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I was gonna say next time on.
Next time.
Video
Okay,
games.
that's fair. Next time on
I'm
Talking Video Games.
thinking maybe we discuss Assassin's Creed.
Ooh.
I think it's about time. Somebody did.
Actually, that'll work out because that'll be pretty close to the no.
You mean the release that was
Of
4
the
days
movie.
ago? Oh, I thought you were talking about the remake of the Ezio stuff. I was like, that was 4 days ago.
No.
Yeah, that'll be about the same
The
as the movie,
movie
so that'll be fun.
comes out on the 21st.
Yeah. If
Which
you buy
looks
the
amazing.
remastered Ezio collection, you get a free ticket to the movie.
What do you think Sarah's birthday present's going to be? Take her to the movies.
Yeah.
Does she want to go see that?
Shut up.
She does not, but he does.
But yeah, next time we'll talk about Assassin's Creed. We'll talk about everything in it, and we'll talk about what the original story is supposed to be compared to what it turned into.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's going to be a little trickier because each game has its own scoring. Well, I guess we'll talk about it.
We'll have a board back here that time.
Yeah.
'Cause I think we might need one
can't
for
talk
that.
about that game. I've
You've
only played the first two.
We will need a board for that one just because
keep track of all the shit because it's confusing.
we're gonna have to grade.
I've played these games
Like,
multiple times to make
each
sure I can
games.
get through all of them and understand all of it.
Yeah.
So.
Must say, if you
But,
want me on
alright,
another
Our
episode, we
outro,
do.
as always, is going to be
Play more games.